These are my best tips for buying or selling your home during the 2022 holiday season. First, let's go through the buying tips. Number one is to be respectful of the sellers during this time period, and if you actually schedule a showing, make sure you do attend the showing and do everything you can from canceling it. I do know that things come up and sometimes your schedule changes, but for sellers that are making their home available, just be courteous and make sure to actually go to each of those showings. Now, my second tip is that if you do buy your home during 2022 before the year end, make sure to claim your homestead exemption since you're buying the home during 2022. And I'm going to be making a future video about the homestead exemption, what to do and what it all means, so make sure to stay tuned. Now, my third tip is to keep in mind that when you're scheduling the closing for your home, you do need to keep in mind when the banks, the lenders, and the title companies are going to be closed for the holidays. Now, let me show you how this can really affect you. Maybe you close on the 23rd at say 4 p.m. expecting to move into your new home the very next day. Well, if you close at 4 p.m. and all the lending and title companies are then closed on the 24th, 25th, and maybe even the 26th, if the loan doesn't actually fund in that 1 hour business window from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. when you're closing, and sometimes it doesn't, that could push the funding of the loan until the 27th. You will have several days where you cannot pick up keys for your new home and you cannot move in. Even though you've signed all of the paperwork, the money hasn't gone to the appropriate places, which means you don't actually get to move in. So keep that in mind when you're scheduling your closing. I always recommend scheduling your closing for morning time if at all possible. My fourth tip is now is a great time to negotiate down on the price or maybe negotiate some other favorable terms. The reason being, if sellers have their home on the market during the holidays, I typically view that seller as someone that really actually wants to sell their home, because why else would they deal with the hassle of having their home on the market during the holidays? So if their home is on the market, you may be able to get some money or some other terms that are in your favor. Now, my fifth tip for buyers is to consider offering a leaseback to the sellers, allowing them to stay in the home during the holiday season. Now, this is going to make your offer much more appealing, especially if you're offering significantly below list price. Now for my tips for the sellers. Number one, realize you're going to get overall less showings now than you would have in the summer or even the fall, simply because there are less buyers in the market looking to move during the holidays. That's just how it goes. Real estate is cyclical. You get more showings in the spring and summer than you do in the fall and the winter. So keep that in mind. So my second tip in an attempt to combat that is to make your home as available as possible. I know you may have some family around and you've got some traditions you want to carry out, but you especially need to make your home available during Saturday, Sunday, and evenings so as many buyers can get in to go see it as possible. My third tip is to feel free to put up some different lights and decorations, but overall, just don't go crazy. Make sure that you still keep your home very decluttered, very clean, and just try to make it as open and inviting to everybody that you can. Number four, this is a very simple one, but it needs to be said. Make sure that your home is a warm temperature when buyers get in to go see it. The last thing that you want is for someone to walk into your home, it's freezing cold, and immediately they think that something is wrong with the heater. You don't want that, so make sure that your home is very warm for buyers. And number five, the best and most important tip that I have is to price your home to sell. If you're pricing your home way above market price, or you're pricing it at the price it may have sold in summertime, chances are you may not get very many offers on your home, or maybe not any good showings. So make sure to price your home in accordance with the market, and keep in mind you may have to go a bit lower than you had originally anticipated. If you have any questions, make sure to send me an email.